Next game is the Commanders and the Eagles. The Eagles took this one in overtime, 34-31. Sam Howell was good, 29 of 41, 290 yards, a touchdown, no picks. I wouldn't go adding him, but solid stuff from him. The Eagles are another team, like super stingy run defense, fairly vulnerable pass defense. So receivers and quarterbacks are pretty decent starts against the Eagles. Baker Mayfield didn't do well last week, but still, there's some vulnerabilities there in the Eagles secondary. Brian Robinson overperformed, in my opinion. 14 carries, 45 yards. That touchdown was money. He almost had another touchdown, but he fumbled it at the goal line, and Terry McLaurin recovered it. So, don't take this inefficiency as a sign of things to come. This is more a product of the Eagles' run defense. Sam Howell had 6 carries for 40 yards. Antonio Gibson had 6 carries for 19. Logan Thomas had a carry for 2, and Curtis Samuel had a carry for 1. Terry McLaurin had an awesome day. 8 catches, 86 yards, 10 targets. Keep putting him into your lineups. Dyami Brown had 2 catches for 51 yards on 3 targets. He has some rapport with Sam Howell going back to North Carolina, so I think he's due for some surprising stat lines. He's not going to be an ad in fantasy or anything like that, but he's going to surprise you with his yards in a lot of these games here. Curtis Samuel, 7 catches for 51 yards. Really awesome day for him. Logan Thomas, somewhat disappointing with how vulnerable the Eagles defense has been against tight ends. Just the 3 catches for 41 yards here today. Jahan Dotson, a rebound game. 4 catches, 27 yards. That touchdown is awesome. I would sell high on him because he's been not good during this year, and still, he didn't put up very many yards in this game. But still, that touchdown is very appealing. Byron Pringle had the catch for 15 yards. Antonio Gibson just had the 1 catch for 7. John Bates had a catch for 6, and Brian Robinson added 2 catches for 6. So keep playing Terry McLaurin, keep playing Brian Robinson, drop Antonio Gibson, and I would hold off on adding Sam Howell. I would rather have Baker Mayfield. I would definitely rather have C.J. Stroud. I think he's at the bottom of that middle tier. You can absolutely do worse, but you can definitely do better than Sam Howell, so just hold off on adding him for now. For the Eagles, Jalen Hurts had a solid day here today. 25 of 37, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Really good stuff there. DeAndre Swift had 14 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown. He's really asserting himself as the RB1 in this backfield, clearly. Because Kenneth Gainwell only had 4 carries for 14 yards. Lower carries, lower average. This is absolutely DeAndre Swift's backfield. And Jalen Hurts also added 34 yards on the ground on 9 carries. Monster day from A.J. Brown. 9 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. He cost him at the end with that taunting penalty to force us into overtime. But still, on the stat sheet, he was amazing. DeVonta Smith, also really good. 7 catches, 78 yards, 9 targets. Dallas Goedert has been somewhat disappointing so far in fantasy, but that's kind of the case for all tight ends except for a couple. 2 catches, 25 yards on 4 targets for him. DeAndre Swift caught all of his targets for 4 catches, 23 yards. Olamide Zaccheaus had a catch for 11, and Kenneth Gainwell had 2 catches for 7. So I think Kenneth Gainwell is a drop at this point. Keep playing DeVonta Smith. Keep playing A.J. Brown. Dallas Goedert, that's a tough one. I would still play him because no tight end is really... there's a couple tight ends playing well. So just trust he was fairly steady last year with Jalen Hurts, so I would keep playing him. DeAndre Swift, you got to play him every week. And obviously you're going to play Jalen Hurts. A lot of really good players on this Eagles offense.